Argon can't help squinting his eyes, looking at the transparent screen in front of him. Does the host want to continue? Argon can't believe what he is seeing right now. He got transmigrated to another world. Getting isekai'd is not foreign to Argon, since it was a popular concept in his past life. Although it was only in stories and anime, looking around all he can see was pitch black, where light can't even shine. The amazing thing, he can see his whole body clearly. He can't help but marvel. As for how he died, Truck-kun didn't get him, but the almighty Train-sama. Thinking about it, Argon's face becomes ugly. At that time, it was just his usual day-to-day life. He was waiting for the train to arrive, and as the train was coming, someone pushed him into the train tracks, and the rest was history. The Argon can't help but sigh in helplessness at his unfortunate death. Looking back at the transparent screen, Argon contemplated. As for choosing the X button, he didn't dare. Who knows what will happen if he chooses that? It didn't take long for him to choose the button. Shortly after, the mechanical voice sounded again. Congratulations to the host for choosing the right answer. Ads by Pub Future. Hearing it, Argon's mouth twitched, and before he could say anything, blackness engulfed him. Shortly after, Argon opened his eyes. Wait a minute, am I floating? Looking around, he was indeed floating. Argon inspects his body with a racing heart, and he grimaced seeing his transparent-like ghost body. Systems! Why the hell I'm a ghost? Argon said with a little anger. Isn't he supposed to be reincarnated in someone's body or something? Congratulations to the host on activating the Dungeon Maker system. If the host wants to use the system, the host just needs to say of status in his mind. As for the host body, the host doesn't need to worry since the host can change your body with the system. I hope for the best for the host. Goodbye. Wait a minute, system. Argon keeps calling the system, but nothing happens. That soulless mechanical voice didn't respond. Argon can't help but accept his fate. And just as the system's instruction, status, a transparent screen popped up in front of him, but this time the content is more detailed. There are icons for status, buildings, shops, and more. But they are locked. He can't really tell since all it says was locked. It really is similar to the game systems in his past life. He can't help thinking if this system was made by the same countrymen. Suddenly, Argon's eyes are drawn to the glowing small mission icon at the top corner of the system. After clicking it, the mission pops up. Find a location for your dungeon. Reward: 100 soul coins. Mission failed. Death. Mission duration: 9 days. A soul coin? It must be a currency of the system. As for how much the 100 soul coins are, he doesn't know. As long as the coin reward is enough for him to have a starting point. Argon wishes that the system can answer him right now. And seeing the consequence of the mission failure, Argon wants to beat the shitty system. Such an irresponsible system. It runs off without giving him any context of what the hell is going on. He can only explore everything by himself. Ads by Pub Future. Without any delay, Argon started his journey on finding a location. As for where he is, he's in the middle of a forest. The good thing is he can fly. He flies up to see clearly of the place, and although this is his first time flying, he doesn't feel any discomfort at all. Then suddenly, screech! A shrill screech sounded that made his soul shiver. Argon looked back. He was terrified to see a huge hawk-like bird as big as a commercial plane flying at him at full speed. He wants to run or something, but he can't control his body. It's like something holding his body in place. It's like his body is not responding to his command. What the hell? Am I going to die this early? I just got here. However, the huge creature passed through him. He wanted to scream instinctively but stopped, caused he doesn't feel any pain at all. Looking at his body, Argon sighed in relief. That creature went past through him as though it can't see him. Damn, I thought I'm going to die. That frightens me. Without any delay, he comes down several times faster than he goes up. He didn't want to experience that feeling again. That feeling that you're going to die but you can't do anything. Argon stopped thinking about it because it only makes him frightened even more, and continues to find a place and finish the mission. It's been about an hour. Argon keeps wandering in the forest. And he can only say one thing: this place is extremely dangerous. He saw all kinds of beasts. Dangerous beasts. It's a good thing that those beasts can't see him. If not, he already died several times. Now you think about it. If I hear it correctly, the name of the system is Dungeon Maker. The system should want me to make a dungeon. At that time, Argon's brain was kinda muddled because of what was happening and can't think clearly. Then, if that's the case, I should put my dungeon near to people enough for them to discover it. Of course, it won't be too close to any intelligent inhabitants. After thinking about it, Argon began his journey. But shortly after he stopped. Wait, which route to go? That's right, he doesn't even know where's the exit of the forest. Sigh. Argon can't help but just go by his intuition. Wherever fate takes him. And from what he observed from the past hour where he's flying non-stop, he doesn't even feel tired. Is it because he is a ghost and doesn't have a physical body? Argon's face is beaming with joy after he finally found a grassland. Finally, after a week of walking and flying endlessly, he finally found the exit. What he experienced in the past week, well, it's just all kinds of horror, grotesque beasts, humongous beasts. He experienced all of it in just a week. Especially those gigantic beasts as big as a mountain are so visually shocking to him. Without any delay, Argon set foot in the grassland with caution. Who knows if there's someone who can see him? Although the beasts can't see him, that doesn't mean humans or any intelligent creature also can't. He is vigilant in nature, that's how he is. While traversing the plains for some time, he finally found a small village. He didn't approach the village but observed it in the distance. After that, he goes in back to the forest not far from the village. Since the forest is super wide, Argon can't even see the end of it. This should be enough. The place he chose is not far from the entrance, like a 15 minutes walk-in. Ads by Pub Future. System, how do I build the dungeon? Argon scratched his head. While he was thinking about how to do it, suddenly in front of him a huge magic circle materialized, and the next second a bright light exploded. He can't help but close his eyes because of the brightness. The beasts in the vicinity are quivering, growling in the direction at the white light shooting up in the sky. Other beasts run off as though their biggest enemy chasing them, while some weaker beast was on the ground and can't move. After some time, the white light dissipated. Argon opened his eyes, and what appeared in front of him was a temple. No, to be exact, a rundown tower. Although it's only a 1-story tall and full of cracks, and a lot of plants sticking into it, he is still amazed by its structure. It looked like a combination of a temple and pagoda, giving it a majestic aura. Argon was about to get in, however. A transparent screen pop up in front of him. Name your dungeon. A name? He already has a name in his mind. A lot, to be exact. Shortly after, Argon finally decided on a name. Okay, let's call it Eternal Dungeon. After that, he goes in with excitement. Hiya! Yeah! In the open space of a village, a row of children ranging from 10 to 15 years old are practicing a martial art, punching left and right with the middle-aged instructor. After punching 100 times, they would sit down to cultivate. Alex is the only 15 years old of the team, the oldest among them all, and also the strongest since he set his half foot on the body-tempering realm. In terms of talents, Alex even thinks that if he is put in a city, he's considered a genius. Moreover, all the resources of the village were poured on him. Furthermore, the villagers have great hope in him, so he can't slack and disappoint everyone. After being done cultivating, Alex was just about to go to the training dummies when he saw a light in the distance. His eyes widened. He runs to the instructor and also his father. Father, what is that? Arnu was looking at the white light with a gloomy complexion. He just hoped that this is not a disaster. You go and inform the elders and village chief and evacuate all the people. Okay, father. Alex said. Seeing the seriousness of the situation, he didn't delay any further. Shortly after, all the warriors of the village arrive, a total of 10 people. Among all these people, only 3 are in the body-tempering realm. The rest are all human. And although they are twice as strong as ordinary humans, a first-layer body-tempering can still crash them with a punch. As for Arnu, he is in the second layer of body-tempering. Looking at the 10 people, he thought first to send someone to scout the area first. Although it might be cruel to send someone to an unknown dangerous place, he doesn't have a choice. Because if he goes there and died for some unknown reason, the village will become even more in danger. Not just from that unknown thing, but also from bandits. You three, I need you to scout the place first. Can you do that? Yes, sir. The three unfortunate people looked at each other wryly. They know that it's a dangerous task, but they don't have a choice. It's not out of fear for Arnu. It's because this is their home, and their wives and children are in this village. Arnu can only look at them apologetically. Shortly after, the three left. He then looked at the two first-layer body tempering. Eric's and Nox, I will trouble you two to prepare everything. Okay, sir, no problem. Eric said while saluting. No problem. Nox said leisurely, in contrast to Eric's serious expression. Looking around, Argon found himself in a forest? Huh? He looked around with a confused look. Ding! Abruptly, a transparent screen pops up in front of him. Then this is the first floor of Eternal Dungeon, the Wild Forest map. The first one is considered free. In the next, the host needs to buy it. Wait a minute, Systems. I thought you run off, and now you are back. System, do you know what I experience? I experience hell. You know, you should have told me about the world before you left. Argon wanted to cry in misery. However, the system didn't respond as though it didn't hear his suffering. But instead, a text pops up. To buy a creature, the host just needs to open the shop and go to the monster section. Take note, if the creature dies in the hands of an outsider, it will take an hour or longer to respawn. That's why to maintain the dungeon, the more creatures the better. Seeing the text, Argon becomes serious. He doesn't care about the system anymore. He then opened the shop and proceed to the monster section. There are all kinds of creatures in the shop. There are dragons, demons, angels, and a lot of unfamiliar ones. But looking at the prices makes him dizzy. Without any delay, Argon took out all the expensive stuff. What's left were all creatures below 100 soul coin. King Slime, Cultivation, Early Stage Opening Chi, Price, 100 soul coins. Windwolf, Cultivation, Early Stage Opening Chi, Price, 100 soul coins. Aufhocker, Cultivation, Early Stage Opening Chi, Price, 100 soul coins. There were still a lot of 100 soul coin creatures. Too bad he can't afford it. It's not that he can't afford it, but he needs to manage his soul coins carefully. He even felt tempted, since the opening chi is pretty strong. Earlier, miraculously, the system told him the power scaling of this world. Start from body tempering, building base, opening chi, chi gathering, golden core, core formation, soul strengthening, soul body converging, heaven's gate, and heavenly realm. After some time of rummaging through the system, he finally found something that interests him. Goblin Tribe, ads by Pub Future, 41st layer body tempering, 32nd layer body tempering, 23rd layer body tempering, 4 4th layer body tempering, 3 5th layer body tempering, 2 6th layer body tempering, 1 7th body tempering. Price, 70 soul coins. Great Wolf's Den, 41st layer body tempering, 32nd layer body tempering, 23rd layer body tempering, 4 4th layer body tempering, 3 5th layer body tempering, 2 6th layer body tempering, 1 7th body tempering. Price, 70 soul coins. Argon was planning to buy a building base monster to make it a small boss on the first floor, and buy some low-level monsters to accompany it. However, upon seeing that you can buy a bulk of monsters, like tribes and monster dens, he changed his mind. I think it's more profitable to buy monster tribes or monster dens than to buy them individually. Right. He was talking to himself. There were pros and cons. Buying the monster individually will give you high-end combat monsters. However, buying a goblin tribe will give you more monsters. After all, he needs a lot of monsters or beasts to keep the dungeon running. If I want to buy a building base monster, I can only buy 20 monsters to accompany it. Furthermore, he can only buy up to the 5th layer tempering monster. After all, he can only spend 70 soul coins. He needs to buy an item that monsters drop after death. Ads by Pub Future. Earlier, the system told him that there were 2 types of drop items in the shop to buy. The first one, an infinite drop item. After buying it, will infinitely drop the item upon some monster died, without you buying it again. Of course, it's not 100% drop rate. If you're lucky, you'll get the item. Furthermore, it's 100 times more expensive. As for buying a different monster with the same realm as the Goblin tribe, he didn't even consider it. You can only buy 60 different monsters with the same amount. On the other hand, you can buy it one time, it's cheaper. Though, after it drops, it won't drop again. You need to buy it again. After some time, Argon finally chooses the Great Wolf Den. It doesn't really matter what he chooses between the two. After all, the first floor can accommodate 2 tribes or dens at the same time. Furthermore, the creatures were not puppets, but real creatures created by the system. So it's better to give them their own territory. Argon then bought the Great Wolf Den, and the next moment a 3D map emerged in front of him. This must be the map of the first floor. Argon examined the map. The map was shaped in a straight line. Argon tried going on the right side, however. After some time, a barrier blocked him from going further. Without any delay, Argon put the Great Wolf not far from the entrance. Shortly after, a white mist shrouded the place. Soon, the white mist disappeared. What greeted him was a huge mountain blocking the place and a cave at the center. You can't even make a detour, since the mountain was blocking the way. If you want to go forward, you can only go inside the cave, hoping there's an exit on the other side. Argon then began to fly toward the cave. He knows the monster created by the system won't hurt him. The system already told him, any creature created by the system is 100% loyal to the host, even unintelligent creatures. Inside the cave, Argon found all the wolves lowering their body to him, as though bowing to him and welcoming their king. All the wolves around were mostly first-layer body tempering, with some second-layer body tempering. They were most likely about to go out hunting. The first floor is not empty. It has a lot of creatures like deer, rabbits, and mostly herbivore creatures. Argon tried to communicate with the wolves. However, to his dismay, they didn't respond, though he can order the wolves with simple commands, like attack and stop. Occasionally missing content, please report errors in time. Argon continued. As he goes further into the cave, the wolves he saw were also getting stronger. He saw some 5th-layer wolves, and they were 1 meter tall. Those first-layer and second-layer wolves he saw earlier were the same sizes as ordinary wolves in his past life. These 5th-layer wolves were half of his height, and this is only the stage 5 wolf. Argon was looking forward to the remaining 6th-layer and 7th-layer body-tempering wolves. After some time, Argon arrives at the end of the cave. It's an open space. He found 3 big wolves in the distance bowing at him. It was the last 3 wolves. The 2 6th-layer wolves were 1.4 meters in height, and the remaining 7th-layer wolf, it's 1.6 tall, almost as tall as him. It's pretty striking to see. System, where is the exit hidden? He tried finding the exit to the other side, but he can't find it. Shortly after, he was not left disappointed when an emotionless mechanical voice sounded in his mind. After killing the leader of the dungeon, a teleportation array will emerge, transporting anyone to the other side. Okay, it's good that I can now ask you about things, because it's really hard for him to explore things like a blind man. After some time, he teleported out of the dungeon. Yes, he can teleport anywhere inside the dungeon. Furthermore, he tried to communicate with the stage 7 wolf. However, still the same, it can't understand. As soon as he got out of the dungeon, a warning sign popped up in front of him. Warning. There are humans in the vicinity of the dungeon. Do you want to open the dungeon now? Oh, well, not now, I still need to buy a drop item. Argon then opens the item section of the shop, and as per usual, he takes away all the expensive stuff and leaves the 40 soul coin infinite drop item. In the shop, there were weapons, martial skills, cultivation scroll, and a lot more. Argon filters everything out, except the cultivation books. By reading cultivation novels a bunch of times, having good cultivation exercises will help you reach a higher realm. After some time, he decided on a cultivation scroll called King Kong's Body Cultivation Book, which can help achieve the opening Chi realm. This cultivation scroll was at the bottom and the only one that has 40 soul coin price. I'm done here. I should go out and see who's outside. Argon then teleported outside the dungeon. An hour before, 3 figures traversed the forest silently. It was eerily quiet. They'd been running at full speed for 10 minutes now. And what creeps them out was they didn't encounter any beasts. After some time, the trio finally found something. In the distance, the 3 saw an abandoned tower. Although the tower looks like it will collapse any moment, the trio still felt a little throbbing in their chest seeing the tower. Hey Zam, is there always a tower here? No, we've been hunting in this place for our whole life. Never seen a tower here at all. Yeah, this must be the source of that white light. The 3 looked at each other. So, you guys want to approach the tower? The person called Zam asked the 2. Yeah, let's do it. Who knows, there might be a treasure inside. After all, the commotion this tower produces is pretty huge. I'm sure other villages nearby are already running their way here. Ads by Pub Future. You're right, let's go. The trio approaches the tower with vigilance. Shortly after, the trio arrives at the entrance, and they saw a huge signboard on top of the big door with an eternal dungeon written on it. Zam then moved forward and tried to open the huge door. However, the door didn't even budge. Seeing it, the other 2 joined and pushed the door with all their strength. Alas, it didn't even budge a little. While they were doing their best to move the door, someone was observing them. It's Argon, who just got out, saw these 3 people pushing the door of the dungeon. The system already told him that no one can open the dungeon. Not even the strongest of this place. System, open the dungeon. Let's see how the dungeon operates. Ding, opening the dungeon. The trio who was about to push the door stopped, because the door suddenly opened on its own. The 3 got excited, however, shortly after they were petrified. They didn't see the inside of the dungeon, but what greeted them was a huge teleportation portal. The trio jumped back instinctively, looking at the huge portal nervously. Zam, should we run? The timid one asked. No, we wait. Okay, but as soon as I saw something come out of that portal, I will run without caring about anything. No hard feelings. Zam didn't respond but focused his gaze on the portal. A minute passed, but the portal was as still as a clear pond. I think the portal is safe. Zam breathes a huge sigh of relief. The 2 also wiped the sweat on their forehead. So, anyone wants to go in? Zam looked at his 2 companions, who were looking elsewhere, avoiding his eyes. Yeah, okay, I will go in. You 2 will stay here and wait for the captain and others. Zam, what about we wait for them before going in? Yeah, it's dangerous to go alone. It's okay. Whatever on the other side, I will not act rashly. Also, I only want to see what lies on that portal. Zam was adventurous in nature. In his teens, he will go alone and venture into the forest. Of course, it's only at the periphery of the forest. He only stopped because he got married. Furthermore, his cultivation base was stuck at the half-step body tempering. He doesn't know why all these years of practice, his cultivation base didn't make a breakthrough at all, as though something is blocking him from advancing. Zam looked at the huge teleportation portal in front of him. He took a deep breath and go in without hesitation. The next moment, Zam's surroundings went black for a second, and then found himself in a forest. He looked around in confusion. I'm still in the forest? Suddenly, he heard a rustling sound not far from him. Zam immediately hid behind a tree. Shortly after, Zam saw a normal deer feeding on a plant. However, before he could relax, something pounced on the deer. It's a first-layer body-tempering wolf. It bites the deer's neck and cracks it easily. Ads by Pub Future. Zam immediately hides, his chest pounding like crazy. He was holding his breath, afraid that the wolf will find him through his breathing. When Zam didn't hear any noise anymore, he carefully peeked out to see. Seeing the wolf was gone, he relaxed. That's too dangerous. He was sure that it was not an ordinary wolf, but a first-layer body-tempering wolf. Although they only hunt in the boundary of the forest, they still encounter some wild first-layer body-tempering beasts. So he was sure it was a body-tempering wolf. Sigh. I can only wait for the captain and others to come. He said helplessly. Even if he wants to continue, he doesn't have the ability. Although he loves adventuring, that doesn't mean he loves to die. He can't even get out of here, since he doesn't see a teleportation portal. 5 minutes later, finally, Zam can't help it anymore and stand up. I can't take it anymore. I will explore this place and kill a first-layer wolf. He always wanted to kill a first-layer monster alone. Of course, he won't fight a first-layer monster head-on, but use some other means, like traps. Zam then proceeds on exploring the dungeon. First, he needs to build a trap for the wolf. He decided to build a spike pit trap. It's easy to build. He doesn't have a tool in him to make a more complicated trap. Next, he needs to find a lone first-layer wolf, since wolves hunt in packs, so for him encountering a lone wolf, he needs luck. Zam then began making the trap, and the resource to build one. He was in a forest, resource was everywhere. And after 5 minutes, a net trap was built. Next, he needs to find a lone wolf and lead it to the trap. Although it sounds simple, Zam knows that he's putting his own life on the line. With one mishap, he will become the wolf's meal. After tiptoeing in the forest for 10 minutes, Zam finally found a first-layer lone wolf. He even thought the goddess of luck pouring luck on him today. Without wasting time, Zam pointed his bow at the wolf. He took a deep breath first, hold his breath, then release the arrow. The wolf's ears lifted, as though sensing something dangerous. The wolf jumped backward, and the next moment an arrow passed in front of the wolf. Zam was not disappointed. It's not easy to kill a first-layer wolf with an arrow. The wolf looked in his direction and growled. As for him, he was already running with all his might toward the trap, and the wolf followed angrily. Zam runs as fast as he can. The first time in his life that he ran so fast. His speed should be the same as that of first-layer body tempering. The wolf was slowly catching up to him. He can't help but be nervous, just looking at the angry face of the wolf, as though it can't wait to tear him apart. Finally, Zam saw the trap in the distance. The wolf was almost catching up to him. Zam arrived at the trap, then leaped at the rope hanging at the tree in the center of the trap. The hole was concealed with leaves, so the wolf didn't find anything strange. In addition, apart from it's not too intelligent, it was fuming with anger. The wolf jumped and tried to bite Zam, but he skillfully avoided it and kicked it downwards, plummeting toward the spike trap. The wolf died on the spot. He also got down, and blood dripped from his leg. He has a deep cut. The wolf still manages to injure him. He can only smile bitterly. Ads by PubFuture. This was better than he expected. He managed to kill a first-layer body-tempering wolf on his own with only a cut on his leg. Thinking about, he felt proud of himself, and can't wait to show it off to the captain and others. Suddenly, Zam, who was smiling widely, becomes stiff. At the corner of his eyes, Zam saw the wolf's body disintegrating slowly. Shortly after, the wolf's body disappeared, and what was left was a white light. Before he could react, at the speed of light, the white light entered his body. Crack! Zam heard a cracking noise in his body. He was delighted to find out that he was about to break through. He then relaxed and sat down. Slowly, Zam felt like his skin was getting thicker, and his bone getting stronger. The body tempering realm, as the name implies, is strengthening or tempering the body so that it can store Chui. As time goes by, Zam can feel his strength improving, and his senses were enhancing. Now he finally figures out how the wolf evades his arrows. After some time, he successfully broke through and set foot on the body tempering realm. Zam punches the air. Swish! He smiled widely. He was 3 times stronger. He can't help but admire himself for killing the wolf. Such a disparity in strength. Looking at his cut on the leg, he was surprised that it healed. Not entirely healed, but the cut got closed. This time our village will rise. Zam's eyes were hot. Such a miracle. By killing one first-layer wolf made him break through. Outside of the dungeon, half an hour has passed since Zam entered the dungeon, and the two were already on their edge. The captain and others took too long to arrive. Shortly after, the two's faces lit up seeing a group of people in the distance. It was Arnu's group. The two instantly go toward the group. Oh, where is Zam? Upon arriving, Arnu immediately found one person missing. Captain, Zam go in alone. We tried to convince that idiot, but he won't listen at all. The two then explain what they experience. What? A teleportation portal. Everyone was surprised, but Arnu was much more surprised. He didn't even see a teleportation array, much less a more advanced teleportation portal. Even in the Oland Kingdom where they were located, a teleportation array was super rare. There were only 3 cities in the Oland Kingdom that has a teleportation array. You can imagine how rare it is for a kingdom that has dozens of cities. Argon saw what happened in the dungeon. From Zam killing the wolf on his own to his breakthrough. Isn't this like getting XP from killing monsters? Argon thought, looking at Zam, who was still consolidating his realm. System, can you explain to me what happened? Killing monsters in the dungeon will give you cultivation, just like that guy who killed the wolf. After killing the wolf, he received a week's worth of cultivation. In addition, the stronger the monsters, the more cultivation you get. Of course, for preventing anyone from abusing the dungeon, you won't get cultivation for killing a lower realm than you. Oh, that makes sense. In the future, when he will have more floors, it would be ridiculous to see when people won't ascend to the next floor and just keep on farming the lower floor for easy cultivation. Also, killing the same cultivation monster alone is harder than killing a human cultivator. Much less the monsters of the dungeon. The product of the system were top tier in the same league. A genius might do it, but ordinary cultivators can't. Abruptly, Argon felt people entering the dungeon. His gaze traveled through the entrance. He can see everything in the dungeon. After all, he is the master of the dungeon. He naturally has this kind of ability. Ads by PubFuture. He saw people emerging out of thin air. 10 people in total. They all looked confused. The portal is gone, said by the one who is likely their leader. Argon used the identification skill. He got this after he built the dungeon, which can give him a person's detail and cultivation. Name, Arnu. Bloodline, Fiery God Monkey. Cultivation, second layer body tempering. Name, Eric's. Bloodline, Fiery God Monkey. Cultivation, first layer body tempering. Name, Nox. Bloodline, Fiery God Monkey. Cultivation, first layer body tempering. Interesting. System, do you know what is the Fiery God Monkey bloodline? He asked. However, the system didn't respond. All of them have the blood of a fiery god monkey. He was a little surprised. Since all of them have the same blood, then they were descendants of some being. Since a little village have a bloodline of some unknown being, then what about those in the city? A bloodline like the divine dragon-like existence. He just hopes that is thinking too much. Argon eventually stopped thinking about it and asked the system for something else. By the way, system, how are they going to leave the dungeon? It can't be that they need to clear the dungeon before they can leave, right? 'Cause if that's the case, then these guys are already dead people. The strongest among them was merely a second layer body tempering, whereas he has a 7th layer wolf guarding the dungeon. Just a casual slap of that wolf will erase this group of people. The host is thinking too much. After killing a monster, there is a chance that it will drop a returner stone. After using it, you can teleport 6 people of your choice. Of course, you can't use it if you are in combat. So, it's free? Then, that's good. He was happy that he doesn't need to buy the item anymore, because if he needed to buy that kind of item, then these guys are as good as dead. After all, he doesn't have soul coins anymore. Captain! Arnu, who was discussing with his team, turned around, and everyone saw Zam in the distance. Arnu's raised his brows because he can feel that Zam is already a first layer body tempering. Shortly after he arrived, everyone can see his beaming smile. Zam, congratulations, you broke through. Arnu said with a smile. The village has another warrior. He was naturally happy. Captain, our village will rise. This place is a huge treasure. Zam can't contain his excitement. Everyone was confused. Why this guy looked like he'd just hit a jackpot, everyone was thinking. Seeing everyone's confused looks, Zam excitedly recalled all his experiences. When he told them that he killed a first-layer wolf with a half-step realm, everyone looked at him like he was a madman. Even Arnu can't help but admire this guy's courage. Zam then continued talking about how he broke through. Everyone was dumbfounded. Zam, you're not joking, right? Nox said. Why would I joke with this kind of thing? Do I look like a person who would joke around in a serious situation? You're right. If Nox said the same thing, I wouldn't even believe it one bit. Eric said without caring that Nox can hear him. As for Nox, he just whistled playfully like he didn't hear anything. If what you said is true, then this is a huge opportunity for our village. As Arnu said, everyone becomes serious and excited. Who doesn't want to become a cultivator? Most of them already accepted their fate that they can't become a cultivator in this lifetime. After all, they were already in their 30s and still didn't achieve the starting point of becoming a cultivator, the body tempering realm. Now that they were given a chance to become one, they will surely grasp it tightly. Seeing the eager face of everyone, Arnu didn't waste time any longer. Okay, let's hunt these wolves. But I need to remind you guys that we won't engage if we encounter a pack of wolves. From what Zam has seen so far, he didn't find any other monsters around. So, there might be a wolf den nearby. Then, I don't need to remind you all how dangerous monster dens, right? Arnu looked at everyone sternly, as though someone poured cold water on them. Everyone come back to reality and shuddered. We will take it to mind, Captain. Everyone said with seriousness. They still respect their captain deeply. Without the help of cultivation practice, he managed to become a second-layer body tempering. Such a feat is worthy of respect. Arnu's group then started moving. Of course, they were only going to engage in a fight if they think that their group can take it. Occasionally missing content, please report errors in time. After 10 minutes, they finally found 3 wolves. In the past 10 minutes, they saw 2 packs of wolves hunting. Upon seeing the weakest among the pack was a first-layer body tempering, everyone felt cold on their backs. So, they tried their best to avoid a pack of wolves. Arnu doesn't need to strategize. It's only 3 third-layer wolves, and he's in the second layer. In addition, there were 3 first-layer in his group, so it should be enough. So, he ordered to attack. The 3 wolves that were happily munching their prey were surprised. Suddenly, a group of humans appear around them out of nowhere. The fight began, and the 3 wolves fight back. Arnu, who was 1 level higher than the 3 wolves, thought that he could easily kill the wolves, was a little surprised. The wolf he was fighting right now was stronger than any first-layer monster he had fought. Ads by PubFuture. After some time, Arnu finally killed the wolf he was fighting. It took longer than he expected. He then helps the others kill the other 2 wolves. It didn't take long for them to kill the 2 wolves. All those that were not body tempering were panting for air. The wolves were stronger than they expected. They have a lot of experience fighting first-layer monsters, so they are pretty familiar with what strength a first-layer monster has. However, these wolves were a lot stronger. Captain, these wolves are unusually stronger than any first-layer monsters we've fought, Eric said. I know, I'm also surprised. While others were chatting, Zam, whose eyes never left the corpses of the 3 wolves, exclaimed in excitement. Guys, it's happening! Everyone turned their heads and was surprised to see the wolves' corpses disintegrating. Shortly after, just like what Zam described, 2 white lights emerged. At the speed of light, it entered their body. Everyone felt their body getting stronger. There was also 1 person that became a half-step body tempering. Everyone was thrilled. Such a miracle experience, and they can't wait to kill another wolf again. But there was 1 person that was looking at them in confusion. It was Arnu that doesn't feel his cultivation rise at all. Captain, did your cultivation rise a little? Zam asked when he saw Arnu just standing with a confused look. Nothing at all. I think all of you guys got it except for me. Arnu can only shrug. Of course, since the white light is too fast. With their cultivation, they naturally can't see where the white light entered. They can only catch a glimpse of it for a split second. After the wolves disappeared, I can only think of 1 reason why I didn't get any. It's not enough for all of us. Captain, I don't think the reason. After all, you are the one that killed the wolves. If there is someone that doesn't deserve to get the cultivation, it should be us. The person who just got promoted to half-step body tempering spoke. That's right, Captain. There should be another reason. Also, the energy I get this time is not even 1/4 of the energy I got when I killed the wolf alone. Do you think it's because we shared the energy together? Zam asked. It should be. Well, we can only continue hunting, and when everyone break through the body tempering, we can start going further into the forest. Arnu said. Hearing it, everyone nodded and started preparing for the next hunt. While that was happening, Argon, who was floating above them, saw everything. Right now, he was just waiting for someone to die and see how many soul coins he would get. In addition, Earlier when Arnu and his group entered the dungeon, he also got a mission. Ads by Pub Future. Mission: kill all the intruders or defend your dungeon for a day. Reward: 100 soul coins. Of course, Argon doesn't want to massacre Arnu's group. If he killed all of them, who is going to pass the news of his glorious dungeon? After all, Argon doesn't know that his dungeon created so much commotion that the nearby village saw the white pillar. As for killing someone, Argon knows that this is a dog-eat-dog world. He needs to steal his heart to survive, considering that if the heart of the dungeon gets broken, the dungeon will collapse, and he will also die. Just earlier when Arnu's group came in, the system told him that there was a heart of the dungeon at the end of the forest that he needs to protect. He didn't go there yet, because he wants to see the strength of the wolves first, and then see the heart of the dungeon. After all, there's no one here that can threaten his dungeon, so he was not in a hurry to see it. Now that he knows that the monsters of the dungeon, just like the system says, it's stronger than those of the outside, he was relieved. It gives him more security. Argon then teleported to the end of the forest. There he saw an altar with red crystal floating at the center. If you look closely at the crystal, you can see that it's moving slightly like a heart beating. System: does this crystal easy to break? Yes, the crystal itself is easy to break, but the altar has a shield around it, so it will not be that easy to destroy it. As for now, the shield can only block the attack of the Chi Gathering Realm being. For upgrading the shield, the host can see it in the upgrade section of the system. Hearing it, Argon opens the system, and yeah, he saw the upgrade section. He was sure that there was no upgrade section earlier. He opened it and saw the heart of the dungeon, the only thing in this section. As for upgrading it, he needs 500 soul coins. That's a lot of soul coins. With that amount of soul coins, he can buy a lot of powerful monsters to defend the dungeon. Since Argon was already done here, he closed the system, then teleported back to Arnu and his company. "Captain, we are ready," Eric said. After some rest, everyone recovered their strength. "All right, let's continue." They traversed the forest carefully. If they saw a pack of wolves, they will make a detour immediately. 30 minutes have passed. They killed a lot of wolves in the past 30 minutes. Furthermore, 2 people broke through. So, now they have 1 second layer and 5 one-layer body tempering. Even if they encounter a pack of wolves, they won't be as helpless as they first enter the dungeon. Ads by Pub Future. Because most packs they saw here have 5 to 9 wolves. As long as they won't provoke a pack of wolves first, everything should be fine. "Captain, what do you think of these stones?" Nox said, looking at the 2 mysterious stones in his hand. It was dark blue in color, with an unfamiliar pattern around it. They got it from the last wolves they killed. When the body of the 3 wolves they killed disappeared, these 2 stones emerged from it. "Let me see." Nox throws the stone to Arnu. Right now they are recuperating. Since he doesn't have anything to do, might as well inspect the stone. The stone is quite small, the size of a pebble you see on a roadside. "Nox, did you try using your spiritual power?" he asked. "Oh, I didn't." Nox replied, a little embarrassed. It's common knowledge to identify an item with spiritual power. However, since they don't get to see any item that needs to identify using spiritual power, he almost forgot about it. He didn't even see any ungraded items at all. In this world, people in this world graded the item from 1-star magic item to 8-star magic item. Every star corresponds to the 8th realm in this world. "It's okay, I will try it." Arnu used his spiritual power. A thin spiritual power drilled through the stone. Arnu's spiritual was so thin that you almost can't see it. That's why people in body tempering won't usually use their spiritual, since for the most part, it won't get any result using it to identify things. In the next moment, he receives a piece of information in his brain that made him stand up in surprise. Everyone was surprised when they saw Arnu stand up abruptly, then become vigilant, and picked up their weapon. They thought that their captain detected some wolves around. Seeing his companion's actions, he spoke. "You guys need to relax. I didn't detect any enemies nearby. I'm just surprised by the information I got from identifying the stone," he said. He was a little embarrassed. This was his first experience identifying an item, so it caught him off guard. "Really, Captain? What it is?" Nox asked in excitement. Everyone stopped what they were doing and focused on Arnu. From the information I received, it's called Returner Stone. It's an item that will teleport you out of the dungeon. However, each stone can only teleport 6 people. Everyone was surprised. Since they entered the dungeon, a lot of unexplainable things happened to them. They were just small villagers after all, whose only worries every day was bandit and monsters attacking their village. It's a good thing that we got 2 returner stones right now. Since the time they entered the dungeon, he was always worried about how to get out of the dungeon. His wife and son were still waiting for him in the village, so he can't stay here for long. In addition, the forest is getting darker. It's dangerous to hunt in the dark. An unguarded village was like a delicious piece of meat in the eyes of bandits. We should leave the dungeon for now. The village has been left unguarded for too long. If something happens to the village, then what we achieve right now will become useless. Yes, Captain, we might look like we don't want to leave this place. But since the time we come in, we've been always worried about our families outside. Okay then, I need 5 people with me, and others will go to Nox. Arnu told Nox how to activate the stone. Although Nox can identify the stone on his own, it will take a lot of time. Apart from he was only a first-layer body tempering, he also doesn't have a clue how to use his spiritual power properly. Ads by Pub Future. Arnu and Nox, who was about to activate the stone. Everyone were stunned in place to see wolves appearing abruptly from the bushes and pouncing on them. Everyone turned their head to see one of their companions on the ground getting mauled by a wolf. Like a bell ringing in their mind, everyone's eyes turned red and started fighting back. So, a few minutes earlier, Argon, who was following Arnu and his group, was getting impatient. These guys are really slippery, especially their leader. Its hearing is just inhuman. Even 100 feet away he can still hear it, and managed to make a detour. Right now, the group was resting. These guys even got 2 returner stones. Argon was speechless by their luck. System, do you know how much I would get from killing these guys? For the specific number, the system doesn't know. The system only knows the stronger the person, the more soul coins you get. Really? Or you just don't want to say it? I will remind the host that the system is just a guide for the host, not the creator. Okay, relax. No need to be so serious, I'm just joking. What a grumpy system. While Argon was floating above, he found a pack of wolves 200 feet away from Arnu's group. It's 7 wolves, 1 second layer, and the rest were all first layer. He had an idea. He teleported to the wolves. As soon as he arrived, the wolves lower their bodies. Stand up! It's like they understand Argon. The wolves stand up. Follow me. The wolves followed. After all, they can still understand simple commands. Argon can only hope that the goblins he will gonna buy next can communicate with him. As far as he knows, goblins aren't really that intelligent. Soul coins. I need to find a way to get more soul coins. As long as he has enough soul coins, he can even construct a powerful body directly. But he knows that's just his wishful thinking. He knows he needs a lot of soul coins just to gain a foothold in this world. Argon orders the wolves to walk stealthily, afraid that the leader of those groups will detect them. After some time, they successfully arrive at their destination. He let the wolves wait first. Now, you've been hunting my wolves for some time now. Let's reverse the situation. Argon said. For some reason, he felt a little excited. Shortly after, seeing that they were about to activate the stone, Argon immediately orders the wolves in his mind. Attack! Ads by Pub Future. The person who was closer to the bushes was bitten on the neck. That person was not even a body tempering. So, he can only scream in agony. He tried to push the wolf in a panic, but the wolf didn't even budge a little. It was like its mouth was glued to his neck, until he died with wide eyes open, full of unwillingness. Seeing the horrible death of his companion, Arnu's eyes turned red and dashed to the wolf, who still has its mouth on his companion's neck. However, halfway through he was attacked by another wolf, forcing him to block. The force was too heavy, which made him step back 3 steps. In front of him, Arnu saw a little bigger wolf. It was a second-layer body tempering wolf. Just based on the blow earlier, the wolf was much stronger than him. Looking around, all the first layer in his group were fighting their own battle, and the one who killed his companion was fighting the rest of the non-cultivator in his group. If take too long, Arnu was sure that they will die sooner or later. Even if 4 of them were besieging it, they still can't defeat it. Ding. Your wolf killed a regular human. You got 1 soul coin. So, killing a regular human can get you 1 soul coin. Then next, let's see if a first layer cultivator will die today. Argon floating above watches the scene with a cold face. Although he was the one who did this, for some reason he doesn't feel guilty at all. Wow, when did I become so cold-blooded? He thought, but didn't think too much about it. Even if he massacres this world to become stronger, he will do it. His only care was to become stronger and survive. Argon was always alone in his past life and only cares about himself. His life was too bland that you can't see colors in it. The same every day, go to work, play some games after, then sleep, and repeat the next day. Now he thinks about it. He's like an NPC in his past life, living in repeat. He thinks that might be the reason why he quickly adopted his situation. Now that his life become exciting, he wants to cherish it. "Help me!" screamed a person. Argon can only hope that the goblins he will gonna buy next can communicate with him. As far as he knows, goblins aren't really that intelligent. Soul coins. I need to find a way to get more soul coins. As long as he has enough soul coins, he can even construct a powerful body directly. But he knows that's just his wishful thinking. He knows he needs a lot of soul coins just to gain a foothold in this world. Argon orders the wolves to walk stealthily, afraid that the leader of those groups will detect them. After some time, they successfully arrive at their destination. He let the wolves wait first. "Now, you've been hunting my wolves for some time now. Let's reverse the situation," Argon said. For some reason, he felt a little excited. Shortly after, seeing that they were about to activate the stone, Argon immediately orders the wolves in his mind. "Attack!" Ads by Pub Future. The person who was closer to the bushes was bitten on the neck. That person was not even a body tempering. So, he can only scream in agony. He tried to push the wolf in a panic, but the wolf didn't even budge a little. It was like its mouth was glued to his neck, until he died with wide eyes open, full of unwillingness. Seeing the horrible death of his companion, Arnu's eyes turned red and dashed to the wolf who still has its mouth on his companion's neck. However, halfway through he was attacked by another wolf, forcing him to block. The force was too heavy, which made him step back 3 steps. In front of him, Arnu saw a little bigger wolf. It was a second-layer body-tempering wolf. Just based on the blow earlier, the wolf was much stronger than him. Looking around, all the first layer in his group were fighting their own battle, and the one who killed his companion was fighting the rest of the non-cultivator in his group. If take too long, Arnu was sure that they will die sooner or later. Even if 4 of them were besieging it, they still can't defeat it. Ding. Your wolf killed a regular human. You got 1 soul coin. So, killing a regular human can get you 1 soul coin. Then next, let's see if a first layer cultivator will die today. Argon floating above watches the scene with a cold face. Although he was the one who did this, for some reason he doesn't feel guilty at all. Wow, when did I become so cold-blooded? He thought, but didn't think too much about it. Even if he massacres this world to become stronger, he will do it. His only care was to become stronger and survive. Argon was always alone in his past life and only cares about himself. His life was too bland that you can't see colors in it. The same every day, go to work, play some games after, then sleep, and repeat the next day. Now he thinks about it. He's like an NPC in his past life, living in repeat. He thinks that might be the reason why he quickly adopted his situation. Now that his life become exciting, he wants to cherish it. "Help me!" screamed a person who was bitten by his stomach. The wolf didn't care at all and ripped his stomach open. You can even see the intestine dangling. The person twitched on the ground, slowly dying. The other 3 that were left almost peed on their pants in fear. The wolf didn't care about their feelings at all and attack again. The person that was about to get attacked tried running, but the wolf is faster. It bit his head off, and the poor guy didn't even have time to scream. And he died. Ah! Seeing his brothers dying one by one in front of him, Arnu became crazy. He attacked his opponent without caring about defense. However, since the wolf was stronger than him, he started to get injured. Captain, calm down. If something happens to you, we will all gonna die here. Seeing that Arnu went crazy, Zam screamed at the top of his lungs. While parrying his opponent's attack, his scream paid off because Arnu's crazy face calmed down. Seeing that they were in a dire situation, he needs to think of a solution. Because if this situation goes on, sooner or later they will all gonna die here. Arnu gritted his teeth so much that it started bleeding. He was going to make the hardest decision in his whole life. Ads by Pub Future. Everyone, retreat. Captain, you, Zam, Nox, Eric's, and the two new body tempering looked at Arnu in shock. Captain, we can't leave them. Zam's eyes were red. Everyone here was like brothers. So leaving them is like leaving your family to die. They can't do it. We don't have a choice. If we stay here any longer, we're all going to die. If we die, what about our families waiting in the village? Arnu's tears started falling down. This was also a hard decision for him. However, if they all die here, an even more cruel disaster will befall the village. So he can't die here. Everyone, you don't need to feel sorry. We understand. You all retreat now. Just tell my family I love them so much. Me too. You fucking wolf, even if I die today, I will take a piece of meat off you bastard. Everyone started fleeing, and while they were fleeing, they can hear the two's last battle cry. It was like a knife stabbing their hearts. Okay, stop chasing. Argon ordered through telepathy massage. Yes, he can do telepathy messages. As long as it's a monster made by the system, he can forward massage anywhere. The wolves stopped chasing and finished the two that were left. Argon saw the drama, but he doesn't care at all. After some time, he can feel that they left the dungeon using the returner stone. Since they left the dungeon, the mission should be considered complete, right? And shortly after, a mechanical voice sounded in his head. Mission complete. You successfully defended your dungeon. Reward: 100 soul coins. Now, I can finally buy the last defense of the first floor. The goblins. Love can only put 2 tribes or dens on the first floor. If he really forced to place a third one, then the place would become overcrowded, and they will start killing each other. If they start killing each other and a lot of people enter his dungeon, while most of the monsters were still in the respawn time because of them killing each other, who's gonna defend his dungeon? He can only cry at that time. After all, this low-level monster was working on their instincts, he can't order them not to kill each other. Waydale City, one of the cities under the Oland Kingdom. Even under the moonlight, the place was still bustling. You can see a lot of cultivators in the streets. Here, first stage and second stage body tempering cultivators were as common as cabbage. If you want to gain a foothold in this city, you must at least have the cultivation of fourth stage body tempering realm. Waydale City has 3 major forces: Lord Mansion, Song Clan, and the Blue Wind Sect. These 3 forces were shaken by the news they just obtained. These 3 major forces have people arranged by them to watch the endless forest. They need to monitor the forest all the time because if something happens, they will not be caught off guard. Because the endless forest was home of monster clans, although their place was relatively peaceful, in the past 100 years, no beast tide happened. But that doesn't mean they will put their guard down. Although Waydale might be located in a barren area, but it was a safe place compared to other places where almost everyday towns and villages get annihilated. Compared to them, they are considered lucky. Lord Mansion. Ads by Pub Future. A middle-aged man named Xenos was looking out the window, appreciating the magnificent 2 moon hanging in the sky. However, he was interrupted by a sudden knock. Knock, knock. Come in. Shortly after, a burly middle-aged man comes in. Commander Fax, what brings you here? Fax is one of the 3 commanders under his command. Every commander has at least a building base realm. As for Fax, he was a second stage building base realm. My lord, I just received a report that a pillar of white light was spotted in the forest. Hearing it, Xenos' face changed. Then do you know what it is? Yes, my lord. The report I received, it's a 1-story tower that looks like a pagoda. In addition, there's a report that it's hard to believe. Oh, what is it? My lord, the report says, the entrance of the tower is a huge teleportation portal. What? No, that is impossible. Xenos' eyes widened in shock. Even in the Oland Kingdom, there were only 3 teleportation arrays. Furthermore, those teleportation arrays don't work properly and are prone to accidents. So, the royal family doesn't really use them, so over time it becomes like a symbol of status. After all, not all kingdoms have them. Ordinary people only knows that the kingdom has 3 teleportation arrays, but didn't know the detail about it. Are you sure about it? Yes, my lord. In addition, the one observing the place reported that he saw 6 people come out of the portal, and just so happened that he was familiar with one of those people. They are from the village near the forest. Those villagers are really courageous, venturing on unknown places. So, did you inquire about what's inside? Yes, my men tried questioning them, but when he approached them, he just saw gloomy faces. Those people just ignored him, as though they didn't hear him at all. He didn't force them, since that group has 2nd stage body tempering and the rest were all 1st stage. Oh, interesting, a village that has 6 body tempering. It is indeed strange, my lord, since most villages don't even have cultivators. Okay, I will let you handle this matter. Remember to report your findings immediately. If he can, Xenox even wants to go there himself. But he can't leave the city. He still has a lot to do tomorrow. A similar situation happened in the 2 forces. Similarly, each force dispatched a building base elders. Argon, who was oblivious about what was happening outside, just finished buying the goblin tribe. He placed the goblins at end of the forest. He placed it in there to also protect the heart of the dungeon. Next, he wants to add a building base monster. The 1st stage building base monster cost 10 soul coins, and he still has 40 soul coins left. So, it should be enough. He can buy 1 1st stage and 1 5th stage building base monster. Argon filters all the expensive stuff and left the building base monsters. First, he will buy a 1st stage building base for the wolves. Argon scrolls through the system shop, finding a wolf-type monster. Shortly after, he found 3 monsters. Giant Great Wolf. Cultivation. 1st stage building base. Price, 10 soul coins. Twin-headed wolf. Cultivation. 1st stage building base. Price, 10 soul coins. Hell wolf. Cultivation. 1st stage building base. Price, 10 soul coins. The giant great wolf is the same species as the one in the wolf den. The twin-headed wolf, just like its name, has 2 heads. And the last, Hell Wolf, was a hideous-looking wolf. Argon chose the giant great wolf. And although there won't be any conflict if he buys another race of wolves, he still chooses the giant great wolf. Right now, he's inside the wolf den. In the next moment, a summoning array appears on the ground. And right after, a 2-meter-tall wolf arises slowly from the summoning array. After all that, Argon teleported back to the goblin tribe. This was not his first time in the goblin tribe. The good thing is he can communicate with them. Although, when the goblins were talking, it sounded gibberish to him. Surprisingly, he can understand them without a problem. Argon teleported straight to the chief's house. The 7th stage body tempering goblin, who was sitting on his little throne leisurely, with 2 6th-stage goblins on each side like a guard, immediately get off the throne and kneeled down to greet Argon, who appeared suddenly in front of him. The 2 guards also kneeled down. Welcome back, my lord. The goblin who was created by the system sees Argon as a god, the one who created them, and will always be loyal to their creator. Stand up. You're having the best life here, aren't you? This goblin was the strongest in this tribe, so he was eligible to sit there. However, his good life will stop here, because he was going to summon a 3rd stage building base monster to guard this place. Hearing it, the goblin was sweating. Seeing the appearance of the goblin, Argon didn't joke around anymore. Having someone to talk to again felt good. Argon thought, I'm here to summon a new hobgoblin, so you can step back first. He already got a monster to buy. A hobgoblin was like an evolved version of a goblin. Hobgoblin. Cultivation. 3rd stage building base. Price, 30 soul coins. Shortly after, a hobgoblin emerged in front of him. In terms of appearance, it's not much different from that of a normal goblin. The hobgoblin in front of him was a burly 2 meters tall giant, with a blunt weapon in his waist. In comparison, the goblin looked like a child next to it. In addition to its hideous appearance, It's not really something a normal cultivator would want to encounter. Upon seeing Argon, the hobgoblin kneeled down immediately. "Greetings, my lord. Arise. For now, you will be managing the tribe. I will not disappoint your lord." Argon didn't linger any longer. He teleported outside. For only having 100 soul coins, he thinks he did a pretty good job. Although it bothers him a little that the realm of his monsters jumps from 7th stage body tempering to building base realm. He will just gonna fill it out after he will get soul coins. He doesn't know. For some reason he feels like something gonna happen tomorrow, especially when he saw some human monitoring his dungeon outside. Those humans dressed way better than those villagers. He was 100% sure that those people were from towns or cities. So, it's better to be prepaid. System, when am I going to have a body? You know, although I love this ghost body, since you don't need anything to survive, I still want to become stronger on my own. Also, if his dungeon will get cleared out by some strong cultivator. In the end, he can only accept his defeat if he personally participates in defending his dungeon. Of course, that will not gonna happen, cause he will ascend at top of the pyramid. In addition, who doesn't want to become a cultivator? That was basically his dream when he was still on Earth. The host just needs 1,000 soul coins, and the system will help the host construct a body. That's easier said than done. Argon can only sigh. For now, he can only wait for tomorrow to come. And since he doesn't have anything to do, he can only bother the goblins. So, he teleported back to the goblins. Early in the morning, the sunlight shone on the 3 groups of people traveling harmoniously. Each group has 500 members in it. Furthermore, they didn't hide their presence, so there were a lot of vagabond cultivators tagging along. There were at least 1,700 people in total, including the vagabond cultivators. Some small forces in Waydale City were terrified. Who wouldn't be terrified? The top 3 forces in Waydale City dispatched their forces as though they were going to war. However, they all breathe a sigh of relief upon seeing the 3 forces all go out of the city. These small forces also dispatch their underlings to follow them. The 3 forces didn't hide their movement, because they also want people to join. Earlier, the 3 forces receive another report respectively. It's a report that has shaken them. A place that can rise your cultivation by killing the monster inside. At first, they want to keep it for themselves. But after knowing the danger of it, the 3 forces decided to let the public know. In addition, they won't be able to hide the tower for long. Might as well use these people to pave their way, so they need many people as they can. They're planning to go deeper into the forest. As they continued on their journey, some towns that got news of their mobilization also dispatched some subordinates to see what the forces of Waydale City trying to do. After half a day of traveling, they finally arrived at Endless Forest. "Stop, everyone!" Everyone stopped immediately, because the one who shouted just now was Fax, one of the 3 commanders of the city lord, and 2 old men walked into the front. Everyone become quiet. These 2 old men were the respected elders of the Song Clan and Blue Wind sect. 2 elders have the same cultivation, a 1st stage building base realm. "You all might be wondering why we are here and didn't stop you from following us," Fax said, looking around. Everyone nodded. Everyone knows how domineering the 3 forces were. If these 3 forces wanted to do something, they wouldn't let anyone follow them. I will get straight to the point. Our 3 forces found a place that can help anyone rise their cultivation by killing the monster inside. What? Is this true? There's no way, right? If such a thing really exists, why would these 3 forces publicly it and not swallow it alone? Yeah, there must be a conspiracy. Everyone were suspicious. There was no way these top 3 forces would share such treasure with everyone. Ahem! Like a bell in their head, everyone stopped talking. After all, most of the cultivators that were not part of the 3 forces only have the cultivation of the body tempering realm. Even the strongest among them was only a 7-stage body tempering realm. And that guy comes from the 2nd force of Waydale City. I know you all have some suspicions. If you think this is some sort of conspiracy, you can go back now. We won't stop you. The elder of the Blue Wind sect swept his gaze at the crowd. Everyone didn't leave. Even if they know that there was something off, they still gamble. Something that can help raise their cultivation was such a huge temptation. In addition, they won't believe that the three will do something to them. That's like making enemies of all forces in Waydale City and nearby towns. Alright, since no one left, let's proceed. Though, Argon, who was leisurely sitting on a small throne in the goblin tribe, jumped on his seat upon seeing the transparent screen floating in front of him. Mission: defend your dungeon from 2890 invaders for 3 days. Reward: special floor.